Well, now my saying is, when I grow up, I would like to be like Michelle Obama.
Marian Robinson, mother of former First Lady Michelle Obama, was a significant influence in shaping one of the most impactful women of our time. Recently, the political world was shaken when Michelle Obama, in an emotional moment, revealed a hidden truth about her mother's passing. With tears in her eyes, she shared details that left many in disbelief, raising questions about what other secrets might remain untold. Stay with us as we delve into the true cause behind Marian Robinson's passing. But before we jump straight to the cause of her death, wouldn't do justice to her story. To truly understand who she was, we need to look at how she lived and what she devoted her time to. This gives us a fuller picture of the person she was. Early life of Marian Robinson. Marian Shields was born on July 30th, 1937, in Chicago, into a large family as the fourth of 7 siblings. She grew up in a working-class African-American household where her father, Pernell Nathaniel Shields, worked as a house painter and carpenter, and her mother, Rebecca Jumper, was a licensed practical nurse. The Shields family faced significant social and economic challenges during this time, especially given the racial and economic difficulties prevalent in the early to mid-20th century. Despite these hardships, Marian's upbringing on Chicago's South Side was marked by a strong sense of community, deep respect for others, and a firm belief in the value of education, all values instilled in her by her parents and shared by her siblings. Growing up on the South Side of Chicago, Marian Shields was no stranger to the racial and economic challenges that many African-American families faced during the early to mid-20th century. The Shields family, despite these difficulties, remained closely knit, providing each other with unwavering support through tough times. This strong sense of unity and resilience became a cornerstone of Marian's life and later influenced how she raised her own children. Determined to pursue her passion for education, Marian attended Chicago Teachers College, now known as Chicago State University. There, she dedicated herself to preparing for a career in teaching, embodying the values of perseverance and hard work that her family had instilled in her. Marian's personal life. Marian Shields and Fraser Robinson III exchanged vows on October 27, 1960, in a charming ceremony in Chicago, a city full of life and cultural richness. Their union was blessed with 2 children, Craig Malcolm, their son, and Michelle LaVaughn, their daughter, who was named in honor of Fraser's cherished mother. Marian and Fraser were devoted parents, deeply committed to instilling the values of education, hard work, and integrity in their children. They created a stable and nurturing home, even as they faced the significant challenge of Fraser's battle with multiple sclerosis, a struggle that defined much of his adult life. Despite this, they ensured that their home remained a place of love, support, and resilience, providing their children with a strong foundation for the future. Marian's strength and resilience were the backbone of her family, especially during the difficult years of Fraser's illness. Multiple sclerosis, a devastating disease, took a heavy toll on Fraser's mobility and overall health, making daily life a constant challenge. In the face of these hardships, Marian stepped up, taking on the dual roles of caregiver and breadwinner. She managed the household finances and ensured that her children were well cared for, all while providing the emotional support her family needed. Despite the relentless demands on her time and energy, Marian never wavered in her commitment to her family's well-being. She instilled in her children the values of education and hard work, encouraging them to pursue their dreams no matter the obstacles in their path. Marian's unwavering dedication and strength not only held her family together, but also laid the foundation for the future successes of her children, particularly Michelle, who would go on to become a trailblazing First Lady. In 1991, Fraser Robinson III succumbed to complications from multiple sclerosis, leaving Marian with a profound sense of loss, but also with cherished memories of their life together. Despite the heavy burden of grief, Marian remained resilient and steadfast, continuing to manage her household and fulfill her professional responsibilities. Throughout her career, Marian worked as a secretary for various organizations, including the mail-order retailer Spiegel, the University of Chicago, and a bank. In the late 1960s, Marian and her family lived in a rented second-floor apartment within a brick bungalow on Chicago's South Side. This home, owned by her Aunt Robbie and her husband Terry, was where Marian nurtured her two children, Michelle and Craig. The small, close-knit household was filled with love, discipline, and a deep sense of community. Michelle Obama, in her memoir Becoming, reflects on her mother's unwavering connection to their Chicago home and her dedication to being a stay-at-home mother during the crucial early years of her children's lives. As Michelle began high school, Marian re-entered the workforce, taking on the role of an executive assistant at a bank. Early life of Michelle Obama. Before delving into the deep and enduring bond between Marian Robinson and her daughter Michelle Obama, it's essential to understand the formative years that shaped Michelle into the remarkable woman she would become. Michelle LaVaughn Robinson was born on January 17, 1964, in Chicago, Illinois, into a close-knit and hard-working family. Her father, Fraser Robinson III, was a dedicated employee at the city water plant and also served as a Democratic precinct captain, contributing to his community with a strong sense of civic duty. Her mother, Marian Shields Robinson, worked as a secretary at Spiegel's catalog store, balancing the demands of her job with her responsibilities at home. Notably, Marian chose to devote herself full-time to homemaking during Michelle's early years, ensuring that her children were nurtured and supported during their most formative stages. The roots of the Robinson and Shields families run deep in the history of African-American communities in the American South, with connections tracing back to the pre-Civil War era. On her father's side, Michelle is a descendant of the Gula people, who are known for preserving more of their African linguistic and cultural heritage than any other African-American community. Her paternal great-great-grandfather, Jim Robinson, was born into slavery in 1850 on the Friendfield Plantation near Georgetown, South Carolina. After the Civil War, Michelle Obama's paternal great-great-grandfather, Jim Robinson, gained his freedom at the age of 15. He remained in South Carolina, where some of the Obama family's descendants still reside in the Georgetown area. Michelle's grandfather, Fraser Robinson Jr., was deeply connected to his roots in the South. After working and raising his family in Chicago, he returned to the Lowcountry upon retiring, where he built his own home, reconnecting with the land and heritage of his ancestors. On her maternal side, Michelle's lineage traces back to Melvinia Dorsey Shields, one of her great-great-great-grandmothers. Born into slavery in South Carolina, Melvinia was later sold to Henry Walls Shields, a farmer who owned a 200-acre property in Clayton County, Georgia, near Atlanta. Around 1860, Melvinia gave birth to her first son, Adolphus T. Shields, who was biracial and born into slavery. Research conducted in 2012 suggests that Adolphus's father was likely Charles Marion Shields, the son of Melvinia's owner, Henry Shields. Michelle Obama spent her formative years on the upper floor of a modest two-story home at 7436 South Euclid Avenue in Chicago's South Shore community. Her parents rented this apartment from her great-aunt, who lived downstairs. The household was what Michelle fondly describes as traditional, where her mother, Marian, stayed at home to care for the family, her father, Fraser, worked, and the family gathered around the dinner table every evening to share meals. Michelle's elementary school was conveniently located within the neighborhood, ensuring she had easy access to education. Her childhood was filled with simple pleasures and family-centered activities. The Robinsons often played games like Monopoly, spent hours reading, and regularly connected with their extended family from both her mother's and father's sides. Michelle's great-aunt, who lived on the first floor, played a significant role in her early education by giving her piano lessons. In addition to their musical pursuits, the Robinson family was actively involved in their local community through regular attendance at the South Shore United Methodist Church. This involvement provided a strong sense of community and spiritual connection. For their vacations, they would retreat to a modest cabin in White Cloud, Michigan. Michelle, along with her older brother Craig, who was 21 months her senior, demonstrated remarkable academic ability early on. Both siblings advanced to the 3rd grade without having completed the 2nd grade, showcasing their advanced learning skills. The challenge of Fraser Robinson's battle with multiple sclerosis profoundly affected Michelle's upbringing. Witnessing her father's struggle with the debilitating condition instilled in her a determination to avoid trouble and focus on excelling in her studies. By 6th grade, Michelle was enrolled in a gifted program at Bryn Mawr Elementary School, which was later renamed Boucher Academy. Her academic excellence continued as she transitioned to Whitney Young High School, Chicago's first magnet high school, known for its selective enrollment. At Whitney Young, she had the unique experience of sharing classes with Santita Jackson, the daughter of prominent civil rights leader Jesse Jackson. Michelle's daily routine involved a lengthy commute from her family's home on the south side of Chicago to her high school on the near west side, which took up to 3 hours each day. Despite the considerable time and effort required for the journey, she remained undeterred. Michelle acknowledged having concerns about how others perceived her, but she chose to disregard any negative opinions and instead used them as fuel to drive her success. Growing up, Michelle also faced gender bias, recalling how people would often seek her older brother's opinion over hers. This early experience of being undervalued due to her gender further motivated her to prove herself. During her high school years, Michelle's academic achievements were exemplary. She consistently made the honor roll, took advanced placement courses, and was an active member of the National Honor Society. Additionally, she served as the treasurer of the Student Council. Her dedication and hard work culminated in her graduating as the 2nd-ranked student in her class in 1981, where she had the honor of delivering the salutatorian address. The relationship between Marian Robinson and Michelle Obama. Marian Robinson's influence was instrumental in shaping the success of her children, Michelle and Craig. Her unwavering support and steadfast determination laid the foundation for their achievements. The impact of Marian on Michelle Obama is evident throughout various facets of Michelle's life. Michelle often reflects on the values her mother imparted to her, particularly emphasizing the importance of honesty, integrity, and compassion. Marian's commitment to her family and her resilience in the face of challenges provided a powerful example for Michelle as she navigated her own journey to success. When Michelle became the First Lady of the United States, Marian took the extraordinary step of moving to the White House to help care for her granddaughters, Malia and Sasha. This unprecedented move highlighted Marian's deep dedication to her family's well-being and her willingness to support them through significant life changes. Marian Robinson's decision to move to the White House provided crucial stability and consistency for the Obama family during a time of significant change and intense public scrutiny. Her presence was a source of comfort amidst the whirlwind of the first family's new reality. While Marian maintained a low profile, focusing on her role as a grandmother, she continued to offer invaluable support and guidance to Michelle and Barack as they navigated their public responsibilities. Her humility and quiet strength earned her widespread admiration and affection, making her a cherished figure to those who learned about her story. On the night of the 2008 presidential election, as Barack Obama anxiously awaited the outcome of his bid to become the country's first black president, Marian was by his side in a Chicago hotel suite. Reflecting on her earlier skepticism about Michelle and Barack's relationship, which she had once doubted would last beyond 6 months, Marian's understated response to Obama's question, "Are you ready for this, Grandma?" A simple sideways look and shrug brought smiles to both of them. In her autobiography, Becoming, Michelle Obama reflects on a poignant moment during the 2008 election night. She describes feeling overwhelmed by the gravity of the situation, much as she had been moved by Barack Obama's vulnerability. While America had come to view Barack as a figure of confidence and power, Marian Robinson perceived the heavy responsibilities and the solitude he would face. Michelle recounts that during this intense moment, she looked over and saw her mother and Barack holding hands, a powerful symbol of solidarity and support. This small yet significant gesture underscored the unity in their partnership. Barack and Michelle Obama, once young lawyers who met while working at a Chicago law firm, went on to create history together. Marian Robinson's influence extended beyond being the mother of the nation's first African-American First Lady. Notably, she was also one of the rare in-laws to live in the White House with the president and his immediate family until January 2009, demonstrating her commitment and support for her daughter and son-in-law during their historic tenure. Marian Robinson's contribution to the Obama family. Mrs. Robinson, who had spent her entire life in Chicago, was a widow in her early 70s when President Obama was elected in 2008. Initially, she was reluctant to leave her familiar surroundings for a new life in Washington, D.C. President Obama suggested she try living in the city for 3 months, and Michelle Obama enlisted her brother to help convince their mother. They emphasized the benefits of being closer to her granddaughters, Malia and Sasha, and the chance to help the family maintain a sense of normalcy. In the foreword to a memoir by her son, a former basketball coach, Mrs. Robinson reflected on the strong reasons for her move and the importance of being involved in her granddaughters' lives. Though she had initially thought she could manage occasional visits to Washington without relocating, her son's persuasive arguments led her to reconsider. Seeing the potential for personal growth and new experiences, Mrs. Robinson agreed to move to the White House temporarily. She wanted to balance her new role in Washington with her need for independence and travel. When her son-in-law, Barack Obama, became president in 2009, Malia and Sasha, then 10 and 7 years old, adapted to their new life in the White House with their grandmother's support. During the presidential campaign, Mrs. Robinson played a crucial role in caring for her granddaughters, who came to rely on her as a surrogate parent while in Chicago. The move to Washington was seen by President Obama's family as a chance to be closer and provide a sense of normalcy amid the pressures of presidential duties. With mutual understanding, compromise, and family support, Mrs. Robinson decided to temporarily relocate to the White House to be more involved in her granddaughters' lives. She retired from her job as a bank secretary to assist with transportation at the White House. Her presence offered reassurance, and her lack of Secret Service protection allowed her to accompany her family to and from school without drawing unnecessary attention. In her 2018 autobiography, Becoming, Michelle Obama expressed how much she owes her current identity to the steady guidance and unconditional love of her mother, Marian Shields Robinson. Michelle Obama has always been deeply grateful for her mother's unwavering support and love, recognizing her as a steadfast pillar of strength. She admired how her mother enabled her to grow as an individual while keeping her grounded. Michelle appreciated her mother's boundless affection and selflessness, which provided her with the confidence and encouragement to pursue her dreams beyond the family home. In addition to caring for her granddaughters, Mrs. Robinson played a significant role in the White House. She enjoyed a level of privacy admired by the President and First Lady, as she was able to move freely in and out of the White House for various activities. This included shopping trips, visits to the Kennedy Center, Las Vegas, and time spent with her grandchildren in Oregon. Mrs. Robinson gave a few media interviews but generally avoided the White House press. She attended selected White House events, such as concerts, the annual Easter egg roll, the national Christmas tree lighting, and some state dinners. Mrs. Robinson's time at the White House offered her unique opportunities to explore the world. Having been a widow for nearly 2 decades before moving to a room on the 3rd floor, just above the first family, She had never traveled outside the United States. Her first international flight came in 2009 when she boarded Air Force One. That year, she joined the Obamas on trips to France, Russia, Italy, and Ghana. During her visit to Ghana, Mrs. Robinson had the chance to meet Pope Benedict XVI, explore Rome's ancient Colosseum, and visit a former slaveholding compound on the African coast. Mrs. Robinson also accompanied Michelle Obama and her granddaughters on 2 overseas trips, one to South Africa and Botswana in 2011 and another to China in 2014. Initially, Craig Robinson and his parents had reservations about his sister Michelle's relationship with Barack Obama. However, over time, Fraser Robinson III and his wife came to view the young lawyer as a suitable partner for their daughter, who was also a lawyer. One summer evening in Chicago, Craig Robinson and his parents were relaxing on the front porch when Barack Obama and Michelle Obama stopped by on their way to a movie. After the couple left, Michelle's parents exchanged knowing glances, with Mrs. Robinson voicing her concerns about the relationship. Fraser Robinson then commented that the relationship would eat him alive, and Craig Robinson remembered his mother predicting it would last only 6 months. Despite the early skepticism, Barack and Michelle Obama married on October 3, 1992, and have now celebrated 31 years of marriage. Demise of Marian Robinson and Michelle's reaction to this. On May 31, 2024, Marian Robinson passed away peacefully in her sleep at the age of 86. The specific cause of her death was not disclosed. Michelle Obama offered a heartfelt tribute to her mother, highlighting Marian's unwavering support and love. The family's official statement expressed their profound grief and described Marian as a steadfast source of strength and wisdom. Barack and Michelle Obama, along with Craig and Kelly Robinson and their children, noted, "As a sister, aunt, cousin, neighbor, and friend, she was deeply cherished by many, and her presence made a lasting impact on those fortunate enough to know her." Michelle Obama shared the news on social media, describing her mother as a constant source of support and stability in her life. Marian Robinson was a pivotal figure not only for Michelle but for the entire family, offering unwavering guidance and encouragement. In a tribute posted on X, Barack Obama noted that there was and will always be only one Marian Robinson. He expressed that, despite their deep sorrow, they find comfort in reflecting on the remarkable life she led and are committed to honoring her legacy. President Joe Biden and his wife, Jill Biden, also shared their condolences, extending their heartfelt support to the Obama family during this difficult time. David Axelrod, a former senior advisor to President Obama, remembered Robinson fondly as an exceptional woman. "She truly represented the spirit of the South Side of Chicago," Axelrod said during an interview with Wolf Blitzer on CNN's The Situation Room on Friday. Axelrod highlighted that while she was at the White House, Robinson did not indulge in the extravagant lifestyle often associated with fame. Instead, she frequently left the White House discreetly to spend time with friends, avoiding public attention and recognition. Years after the portraits of the Obamas were unveiled at the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery in 2018, Michelle Obama reflected on a poignant moment shared with her mother. After the museum had closed to the public, Michelle took Marian Robinson to see the portraits in a quieter setting. Michelle recalled how her mother, sitting reverently at the base of Michelle's portrait, was deeply moved. This private moment was especially meaningful to Michelle, as it underscored the profound impact of her mother's support and admiration. In a touching tribute, Michelle emphasized the invaluable gifts of love, wisdom, and resilience she inherited from Marian. She shared that the family's enduring goal is to honor her mother's legacy by living out the values she embodied throughout her life. That's a wrap for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and make sure to check out the next video on your screen. You're going to love it.